Hey guys, welcome to the Touchdown Table. I'm Ryan, that's Tyler, that's Jordan, and week one is already in the books. We had some exciting games, some things we expected, and some things we certainly didn't expect. But now we're going to quickly turn the page because we've got some fun week two games coming up. Start with a division game on Thursday night that should be interesting, and a lot of other ones to follow. So we're going to start picking those right away.
Yeah, and before we get into it, just want to say week one, fantastic success. For me, I know for sure there were emotions all over the spectrum, all football emotions, the joy and the upsets as well. You'll probably hear about it as this video goes on. But football season has started. It was a great week one, and hopefully it's a great week two and on from here. So let's start week two on Thursday Night Football. Ryan said it, a division game in the AFC North. It is the the Bengals at the Browns. Both of these teams losing last week. The Browns lost bad to the Ravens, and then the Bengals missed a field goal kick that would have sent them into overtime. Who knows what happened then, but Joe not able to get his first win in the NFL. I do think he gets it here now. My reason behind having them win in this game is just because I want Joe Burrow to win a game, and also the Browns just really underperformed last week for me. I know they were playing the Ravens, but still, so I'm going to give this one to the Bengals. It's going to be a close game, 24-21. Joey gets his first win in the NFL. An Ohio team has to win this week.
Yeah, an Ohio team does have to win, and the Browns, they really disappointed me. I actually made a point to watch some of that Browns-Ravens games. They really disappointed me. I felt like the pieces were there, but they did flash some potential. Nick Chubb had some nice plays in the beginning. Kareem Hunt did some nice things, but they just could not put it all together. They could not get in that rhythm. I know it's week one, but at the end of the day, there is no excuse for that. But I think they will bounce back. I think they're a better team than the Bengals. I think that offense still has pieces that are going to be able to succeed a lot in 2020 more than you think. Browns bounce back and take it 28-24 over their rivals, the Bengals.
All right, well, I'm sure OBJ was happy on Sunday because the Ravens took a big dump all over him and his team. I don't know if that was too far. I had that line lined up since last night. I think the Bengals looked pretty good in their first game against the Chargers. Could have won, as we mentioned. I also have the Bengals winning this game 24-20. Sorry, OBJ, had to throw that shot in there.
Interesting.
All right, next game. Giants at Bears, a hometown team for Jordan and myself. The Bears pulled a 17-point comeback in the fourth quarter last week. Mitch Trubisky actually looked good in that quarter. Otherwise, let's not even talk about it. It was bad. The Giants, as we're making this, are playing right now. It's halftime, so still don't have immense confidence in them. But I have the Bears winning this game 27-19. That's it.
Yeah, this is Mitchell Trubisky and Daniel Jones. Like this is the best quarterback matchup of the year. I think,
agree.
But in all seriousness, two guys kind of in similar situations. There's been some potential, like you see that fourth quarter from Mitchell Trubisky. You see Daniel Jones having a good game here and there, but neither of these guys have really been able to put it together. So I think it's going to be whichever quarterback plays the most, consistent game. I think that Trubisky will do enough, but ultimately that defense will step up for Chicago late. Bears take a back and forth defensive showdown at 19-17.
If you all have watched these videos, you know who I'm going to pick here. I'm going to go with my Bears, and I'm going to get on my soapbox for just a little bit. I'll try to keep it short. Last week, first of all, the win over the Lions, it was a lucky win. I mean, that play with DeAndre Swift stuck out like a sore thumb.
It did.
On them winning the game. That's why they won the game. Let us know if you know that reference.
Poor Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, poor Matthew Stafford is correct. But my theory reigns true. Mr. Trubisky only plays good in the fourth quarter. Just listen to me, guys, okay? Or in pressure moments, and that was both in this scenario. Matthew Stafford played a fine game. He's played a little sloppy in the first half. I think he'll be really good in the future, so that guess still holds up. I have the Bears winning, of course, 27-21 at home as we move to the next game. Two teams that lost last week and two teams that upset that they lost. Of course, everyone's going to be upset, but they thought they had a chance to win. At least one of them more than the other. We start with it's the Falcons at the Cowboys. Falcons played the Seahawks, and they got absolutely annihilated. We're just going to leave it at that. Their defense is just not good enough. Their offense played fine. Matt Ryan did pretty good. Then the Cowboys. See, I'm debating whether I should go on a rant right now.
No.
I'll save it for the end of the video. But let's just say the one time I ever rooting for the Cowboys, they lose. So yeah. Anyways, unfortunately, the Cowboys win again, 31-24. They have to bounce back. The offense is too good, and the Falcons' defense is just not good enough for me.
Yeah, and I really like how you picked the game.
Yeah, I said
Okay.
31-23.
I just want to make sure.
I think I said it.
Okay,
Make sure. We said it now.
Okay. And then I like what you said at the end there. I just want to make sure you had picked it. The Falcons defense, especially after last week, I know it's Seattle. I just don't trust them. And Dallas kind of runs a similar offense. 3 legitimate wide receivers, solid offensive line. In a mobile quarterback who can get things done when he's playing his best. So I don't think it's going to be anything different. I think Dallas's offense is going to have a field day, but Atlanta will hang in there. High scoring game. Dallas takes it 41-31.
Yeah, high scoring is right. I'm sure the Falcons are going to put up about 700 yards of offense, but ultimately they'll do what they normally do when they put up that amount. Lose the game. I think the Cowboys have a stacked roster. It didn't show very much on Sunday Night Football. I think a little more in this game. Cowboys win 32-30. Let's move on to the next game. The Detroit Lions, who coming off a huge loss against the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers looked good. I'm telling you, man, I could talk about this man for a long time. I have a lot on this channel. But he was everything I thought he was going to be in Week 1 and even more. I said last year he was the reason why the Packers were 13-3. He could carry this team again if he keeps his play up like that. I think he does in Week 2. The Lions are going to try and look up, but ultimately going to go 0-2. 35-27 Green Bay wins.
Yeah, you said it. Aaron Rodgers is a guy who can still make a lot of plays and can still help that team win. But I still think we can't fully count out Detroit. They were the better team for the first 3 quarters. Not just the better team; they were basically dominating for the first 3 quarters.
And they had so many injuries too.
Yeah, and they did. Especially
they're dominating in third quarter. First and second quarter was back and forth.
Oh, well, yeah, that's true. But at least score-wise, it was like 23-6. So this Detroit team is not necessarily going to be a team that you can just walk over like maybe in years past. I think Matthew Stafford will keep it close in that defense. If depending on how the injuries turn out, if they're healthier, I think it'll be closer. But ultimately, I think Green Bay is the better team. They take it 24-16.
Tyler said he liked Aaron Rodgers last week, and I sure did. In fact, I like any quarterback who beats the Vikings. So I have the Packers winning again. It's going to be a close and fun division rivalry game. I like the Lions. I think their offense is going to be good. I think not having Kenny Galladay last week, that really hurt them. Also didn't have Jeff Okudah, lost Desmond Trufant. So that defense, although they're not that good, they did lose some pieces. Hopefully they'll get them back. I have the Packers winning 28-20 over the Lions as we move to the next game. It is the Jaguars at the Titans. Yet to see the Titans play while we're making this video, so can't analyze that too much. But the Jaguars, they won. They beat the Colts, and I did not expect that. But hey, Gardner played a nice game. His running back's name James Robinson or something. He stepped
he did
up.
real good, yeah.
He did.
Illinois State.
Yeah. So he did a good job. I don't see it happening again, though. I think they're going to keep it close, and I like the Jaguars more than I did definitely a week ago, but they're going to lose this game 24-20. The Titans are going to reign victorious.
Yeah, it was funny to see the Jaguars win as being mocked as the team that's going to be tanking, but it's just you never know in the NFL.
Nobody's ever taking NFL. Every time you step out into the field, you better be trying to win.
And they were, and they did, and they impressed a lot of people. Some guys in that defense, especially C.J. Henderson, the rookie, made some nice plays. I do think Jacksonville keeps it close, but I think the Titans are a little bit better than them. Kind of going to be, like a, back and forth defense. It's not going to be the most exciting game, I don't think, but I think in the end, Titans win 21-13.
I'm not falling for the Jaguars being a good team this year. I know they're 1-0 and just beat the Colts. I still think they're going to be bad. I'm going to say
a better record than half the team in the NFL.
Hey, you know what? You're right. I don't think
Gardner
Minshew is going to be able to carry their team to victory all the rest of their 15 games. I just don't see it happening. Tennessee is clearly the better team here, so I'm going with Tennessee in this one, 31-20.
And you want to look at the stats here. Mitchell Trubisky did better than Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes last week.
Where did that come from?
Maybe they made the right choice after cannot even say that with a straight face.
All right. Next game, the Minnesota Vikings at the Indianapolis Colts. We just talked about the Colts losing to the Jaguars. They looked ugly. Phillip Rivers did what he did a lot. Went out there, threw an interception, came back on the next drive, was like, hey, I'm just going to do it again.
Yep.
Vikings, their defense looked a little rough against the Packers. I think it's going to get a little bit better, only giving up 20 points this week. The Vikings win this one 27-20.
Yeah, the Colts, they're so good with, Phillip Rivers, he's got so much left in the tank, and turns out he was, practically on empty in that Week 1 game because he lost to the Jaguars. Not all on him, still on that defense, that team could have done more. But anyway, to talk about the Vikings, I still think that even after a rough defensive showing, they've got some young defensive backs. I think that defense and that team will get better as the year goes on. I think they're the better team. I think that Dalvin Cook will have another solid day. Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson, the rookie, is the guy that I think will get more playing time. But I say Vikings take it 26-21.
The Colts disappointed me last week. I think Philip Rivers is going to bounce
I was
back
fine
more
with
than he's going to do better than he did last week. And now with Marlon Mack looking like he's going to be out for the season with a torn Achilles, we're going to see some more of Jonathan Taylor as well as Naeem Hines with a great offensive line. So hopefully they can get that duo going. Hopefully Philip Rivers can get going. Hopefully the defense could do something. And then the Vikings, you know how I feel about the Vikings. However, the Colts, they did not play well enough for me to want to pick them. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to pick Minnesota 24-17. I have the Vikings beating the Colts.
Being hard on Minnesota.
What?
You're being hard on Minnesota right now.
Well, I have them winning. Next
I
game.
know, but still.
It is the Bills at the Dolphins. The Bills beating the Jets last week and the Dolphins losing to the Patriots last week. Another divisional game. We've seen a lot of them in the first 2 weeks. This one, I'm going to have the Bills winning. I like what I saw from Josh Allen. I'll let Ryan talk about that because I know he likes it. The defense played all right, too. The Dolphins, not bad. Hopefully, Tua will be out on the field soon. I think that will put some spark into that team. But I still like the Dolphins. However, I think the Bills are just a better team. My score prediction is 31-20. Bills win.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about Josh Allen because I made a point. I was flipping around, watching, trying to get at least a few minutes of every game in. But I did make it a point to watch a lot of this game. And Josh Allen, still some things to work on. Still has to do better with feeling pressure. And he had 2 fumbles, so that's something he can continue to work on, especially with being a mobile quarterback. If you're going to be a mobile quarterback and run, 1, slide and be smart, 2, hold on to the ball. But I thought that Josh Allen, he did a better job of not just, trying to let his arm do everything. He wasn't afraid to, take that check down to Devin Singletary or throw the ball away. He showed a lot more maturity in this first game of the new year. So I think he's going to continue to get better. Still room to grow for Josh Allen, but I'm still high on him in this team. But Miami is another team that I think is going to be better than people expect. So it's close, but Buffalo takes it 27-26.
Well,
that's what I thought you'd give it.
The Bills were playing the Jets last week, so I'm not going to say that they're amazing after they just beat up on what seems to be a bad team. And the Dolphins
had a commanding lead for most of that game.
Yeah, the Jets scored, and their kicker missed a few field goals for the Bills. So
the Dolphins were playing a tough team in the Patriots. Cam Newton did good against them. Ryan Fitzpatrick ultimately didn't play good enough to win again against the Patriots. I don't think he's going to do that in this week either. Buffalo Bills win this one 30-21. All right, next one. The San Francisco 49ers at the New York Jets. 49ers coming off a loss this week. Didn't think I'd be saying that this early. Kyler Murray
last 2 weeks in a row.
And the Cardinals did good against them. True. 2 games in a row the 49ers have lost at this point. It's weird to say that, but I think the offense will be more improved. They'll get some of their receivers back, and as the defense starts to get more together, they're going to be a better team. Jets, I don't know what else to say. They stink. 49ers win this one 28-17.
Yeah, I said this, last week, that the Jets being bad is not Sam Darnold's fault. He just does not have the supporting cast, the weapons, the coaching. It's just not there. I don't think Sam Darnold.
Lev Bell get injured too?
Yeah, him too now. I was watching that game. Denzel Mims didn't even play. So
I like Denzel.
Yeah, I know you do. That was a solid pick for them in the second round. They got Denzel. Gotta love him. But at the end, San Francisco, they'll bounce back. Hopefully Brandon Ayuk can play, but regardless, that defense is still really good even after the disappointment last week. San Francisco bounces back and takes it 30-17.
New York Jets fans, I'm a believer that you will win one game this year, but it won't be this one. As much as I'm not on the train of 49ers run back to the Super Bowl. I don't think they're going to be phenomenal this year. I think they'll make the playoffs. I'm just not a big Jimmy Garoppolo fan, and their wide receiver core has diminished over the past year. I have the 49ers winning. It's a tough loss against the Cardinals last week, who, by the way, looked really good. I'm going to give the 49ers winning 21-13 over the Jets. As we move to the next game, it is the Los Angeles Rams versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Rams coming off a good win on Sunday Night Football against the Cowboys. A lot of people are happy to see the Cowboys lose, and I was surprised that the Rams won that game.
Me too.
I didn't think they're going to be that good, and they really performed very well. Their defense played a lot better than I thought they would. Jared Goff played good, the wide receiving core played good, and those running backs did some really good stuff as well. So I really like what I saw from the Rams. Then with the Eagles, their offense played fine. Carson Wentz played fine. Their offensive line was basically non-existent last week. I mean, Chase Young was having a field day as well as all those other guys on the defensive line for Washington. But hopefully they'll get some of those guys back. I am still somewhat of a believer in Philadelphia this year. They didn't give me much reason to believe in them this week. However, I'm still going to. I like Carson Wentz, and I still need to see one more week from the Rams, so I have the Eagles winning 24-23. It's going to be a close one, but the Eagles will pull it out.
Yeah, I'm almost exactly on the same page as you with what you said and on the score. So I'm not even going to waste any time. Take carbon copy of what you just said, but I'm going to give the Eagles 2 more points. Eagles take it 27-23.
Yeah, once the Eagles get their players back, I think they're going to be a lot better of a team.
Dallas Goedert played well.
The Rams looked real good. I will give them that on Sunday Night Football. They gave a great display out there on the field. I don't know if that's going to last the entire season. I have the Rams going 1-1. Actually, both teams being 1-1. As the Eagles win this one 31-30 in a tight one. All right, next game. The Denver Broncos at the Pittsburgh Steelers. We still haven't seen the entirety of the both these games as we make this video. So, I mean, by the end of it, one team may stink and the other one may not, and might be different. But ultimately, I have the Steelers winning this one 29-27. Their first home game is a win.
I think this is going to be a game of two good defensive teams. I think that it's going to be close throughout, and I think this is going to be one where it's kind of unexpected. I think that the Denver Broncos are going to go into Pittsburgh and get this upset. You know, we haven't seen Denver yet at the time we're making this video. They have not played yet as of now, but I anticipate that they have looked good, but I have already swung and missed with some trying to predict the future things, so I'm not going to try that again, but I do think Denver wins this game. I think this will be kind of the upset of the week as they go on the road, upset Pittsburgh 23-15.
I'm high on both of these teams right now, and watching Pittsburgh, as we said before, we're in halftime of that game right now. For what I've seen from them so far, it's been all right, but I haven't liked it enough. I think they need to push the ball down the field more with Big Ben, so we'll see if they can do that. You'll know. But I do have them beating the Broncos, who we haven't seen yet, like we all said. I like Drew Lock. I like that Broncos team. I have Bradley Chubb as my Defensive Player of the Year. Unfortunately, Von Miller went down, so that might diminish his chances of winning that award. But I have the Steelers winning 28-24. Next game is the Panthers at I'm on the right one. Panthers at the Buccaneers. Bucks disappointed, and it wasn't surprising that they lost the game. It was surprising that
we all predicted
the game.
Yeah,
we all predicted it, but it's surprising they lost the game in the fashion that they did. It just did not look like they were playing well. It started fine with the Tom Brady rush touchdown doing his signature QB sneak for the score. He did it a few times during that game. But after that, the Saints kind of just took over and controlled the whole game. Not even passing that much. It was really just a different Saints team, but they played very well, and underperforming was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think they'll pull it out this week against the Cardinals, the Carolina Panthers. And the Panthers played well last week, too, against the Raiders. Unfortunately, they lost that game. I have the Buccaneers winning 30-23.
Yeah, you said, wasn't, the perfect debut for Tom Brady with the Buccaneers,
No.
And that makes sense. They played a great team. There's some new pieces, but I still think that they'll find a way to bounce back and they'll win this game. But Carolina is not going to be a team that people can just walk over. They played well. They played Vegas very tough, and they're going to play some other teams very tough. They're not just going to be a team that you can circle and put an automatic W next to on your schedule. You're going to have to play them tough, and they might, spoil a contending team's season down the stretch. You never know. I expect this to be more competitive than you think, but Tampa takes it for the first win in the Tampa Tom era, 24-21.
A lot of T's.
Yeah, plenty of them. I'm with you guys. I have the Buccaneers winning this one. The Panthers, I think, like you guys said, they're going to put up a good fight, but ultimately I think Tom Brady, this Buccaneers team, slowly will start to get better and better throughout the season. They win this game 30-20. Yeah, the Bucs win. All right, next game. Washington football team at the Arizona Cardinals. Two teams that surprisingly won last week. You got to hand it to
Cardinals,
Washington.
Yeah.
I mean, not as surprisingly, but Washington had a great display. Kyler Murray ultimately, I think, will be too much, even for that front seven of Washington. It's tough to not take football team because it just sounds bad. But I have the Cardinals winning this one 24-23. Close one, though, because Washington had a heck of a game last week.
Yeah, they did have a heck of a game, and was it 27 unanswered points that
Something
they got?
like that,
Something like that. So, Eagles fans not too happy, but Washington, nice win for them. Obviously, kind of a crazy off season for them in a lot of aspects. So I think it good for their fan base to start off 1-0. Probably not going to be a great year overall, and it's not going to be a great week too because the Cardinals will beat them 24-14. But I think that defensive front for Washington keeps it somewhat close.
Yeah, Washington, just like the Jags who we talked about earlier, surprisingly won their game And I'm happy for Ron Rivera and winning that game, especially since he announced he had cancer and all that stuff. So it was really good that he was able to win his first game as the Washington head coach. I almost said it. I held myself back. And then I really liked the Cardinals last week. I've never been on the train. I wasn't all off season, but after watching this first game, I liked it. I didn't go back and really watch it, but I saw some highlights from Kyler Murray. DeAndre Hopkins played great. He got like 150 yards. And so I liked what I saw from the Cardinals beating the 49ers who won the Super Bowl last year. I have them winning this game 26-17. Washington defense, though, they played well. And their offense played actually pretty well, too. Anyways, next game. And before I talk about the actual thing of this game, I'm going to have a little bit of a pause for a second. It is the Chiefs at the Chargers. And you know I have to stop for Clyde. Because I do love what I saw from Clyde.
Talk about Clyde, then make your pick, and let's talk about it.
I really like what I saw from Clyde on the field. If you've watched the channel, you know that I love him. I think he's going to be great. And so many people are just jumping on that train after that game with me. So I think it's going to continue to train.
We've just been more vocal about it.
He's like the conductor. He's like, dude. We're just kind of chilling in the back.
Yeah. So many people after this week are starting to realize how good he is. I'd say, and this is going to be surprising, pump the brakes a bit. He's going to be great, but don't everyone just jump on him and make it be like he's going to be better than Emmitt Smith or Walter Payton way behind him. He's going to be a great running back, but pump the brakes a bit. He's going to do really good the rest of the season. Just calm down. So anyways, it's the Chiefs. They played phenomenal over the Texans last week, who we're going to talk about in the next game. Chargers won last week. They won't do it again. I have the Chiefs winning 32-20 over Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah, I before I made this score pick, before I came to the final, decision of this score pick, I do have Kansas City winning, and I initially gave them a lot more points than I ended up giving them. But then I realized, hey, this Chargers defense is certainly respectable. They made some additions, even with the loss of Derwin James due to injury. They still have some nice players in the secondary.
How did Did you see that? I saw him on the field. I didn't really see him.
They also had an injury. Tranquil got hurt for them, I saw. So that is a tough loss. But I still think this Chargers defense will keep it somewhat close. But at the end of the day, the Chiefs are going to chief, and they're going to win. It sounds dumb, but think about it. They win 31-22.
Chargers put up a pretty good display while they were playing against the Bengals, who have improved this year.
Yep.
Joshua Kelly was a big bright spot for them. I think he might have a lot of rushing yards in this one as well, along with Austin Eckler. They got a good running attack going there, some good receivers. Ultimately, though, Kansas City has everything. I think the Chargers will keep it close in the division game. Ultimately, Chiefs win, as they always do, and this one they will win 34-27, in my opinion. All right, next game. This might be these next two games are probably going to be the two best games of the week if I had to guess. But it's the Ravens at the Texans. Texans coming out with a huge loss on Thursday night against the Chiefs. Got another tough game. Man, they're playing two buzzsaws in the NFC
I said this when it came out in April. I was like, you got to be kidding. Come on, man.
Lamar looked good. He looked even better than he was last year. It's different. He's staying in the pocket more, being a little careful. I like seeing that. I think if they do that again, they will win. I have them winning in this one 32-24. So there it is.
Yeah, I could totally, go on a rant for, my statements about the Texans and, what they did wrong last week. I know it's Kansas City, but they just, the play calling wasn't there. The fundamentals weren't there. And I'm disappointed with this team. Don't let the score fool you. I don't care if it was a two-possession game. They got blown out in that game, period. So I don't want to hear any we're somewhat close. Disappointed in the Texans. I thought they should have at least put up a better fight, and they did not use this, this great receiver committee thing that they're supposed to have is, so far just Will Fuller running post routes. So hopefully that switches up, but, they're going against another mobile quarterback and another, kind of exciting rookie running back in J.K. Dobbins, and really just an interesting offense overall that I think matches up bad against the Texans. If this is later in the year, because you know how I think Baltimore's going to go down, but if this is later in the year, I might flip the pick, but I don't think the Texans can win this game. Baltimore takes it 42-27.
Baltimore played a phenomenal game last week against the Browns. I didn't go back and watch it, but I don't need to. The score speaks for itself really, and the stats do as well. Meanwhile, the Texans, I watched that game, and though I was rooting for the Chiefs because I have Travis Kelce and Clyde Edwards-Helaire in fantasy football, I do feel bad for you, Ryan, and you covered a lot of it. But one thing I think people aren't talking about is Deshaun Watson didn't look that sharp in that game either. He's still a great quarterback. I think he's a bounce back fine, but he missed some throws, and sure, there are many drop passes. I think Will Fuller's first ball to him he dropped. So a lot of miscues from the Texans. They'll clean it up, just not in this game. They need one more game against a really good team to get themselves settled in. It's going to be 28-21 victory by the Ravens as we go to the Sunday night game. This should be a doozy. It is the New England Patriots at the Seattle Seahawks. I talked about the Seahawks earlier. They annihilated the Falcons. And then the Patriots beat the Dolphins. Cam Newton's first game. You know how I feel about Cam Newton, probably. I don't like him, although he did play pretty well last week against the Dolphins. I have Russell Wilson winning MVP. I also have him in my fantasy league, and I have him winning this game 28-23 over the Pats on Sunday Night Football. Elle and Chris get the call.
Yep. I always do.
Yeah, not always.
On Sunday Night Football.
Yeah.
No, on Thanksgiving.
Mainly. Oh, I think a couple of times Mike Tirico's going to be filling on Sunday Night Football. That's what I've heard. Not sure about that, but it's going to be.
Yeah.
So
See,
we'll
they
have
don't
to
always
see.
get it.
You know, this week.
If they don't get it this week, that would be weird, but they should.
They will.
If they don't, I might cry.
But yeah.
No slide also from Collinsworth.
Yeah,
No
I'm
Collinsworth.
disappointed.
The song was good, though.
Yeah.
That's always.
But, you know, this game, you know, Cam, Russell, two mobile quarterbacks, two exciting teams. I think that Seattle is significantly better than New England. I don't think that New England is, you know, quite as good as some people think they're going to be. And I know that's a thing people have said a lot of years in the past, and it turns out that they've been wrong. But I think Seattle's the better team, and honestly, I think Russell Wilson is just going to, you know, be the reason that this team comes over the top in this game. It's going to be close,
MVP?
but I think not going. He'll top three. He'll be in the running, but you know my MVP pick. Although that's not looking too good, but it's early. Seattle takes it 28-20.
Thank you, Seahawks. Finally letting Russell Wilson throw from the start of the game.
Thought about
Not
you know
just
what?
running
Chris Carson
over and
actually
over and
played a
over
pretty
and
darn
over
good
again.
game, too.
Yeah, but the touchdowns were all throwing to him.
They were, but he actually runs.
Yes, and that's perfect. That's the perfect game plan. Run it. You can run it down their throats. Say, no, you can't, but you have Russell Wilson as your quarterback. Look how many points you put up against a good or a decent Falcons defense.
Only had
I
one.
don't know about good.
Defense.
Let's bump the
Decent
brakes.
Falcons defense.
Only
Do
got
that
like
again. You'll win
5
this game.
more
I know
yards.
Cam was good. The Patriots' lack of receivers does scare me a bit. I think in a close one, the Seahawks win this one 37-35. Last game, the Monday Night Football game. Let's get this one going because we got to get back upstairs to watch the
What time is it?
Monday night game.
Let me see what time is left.
I don't know. But
We're
Saints,
in trouble.
Saints at Raiders. Saints are just the better team here. I know the Raiders had a pretty good showing. Derek Carr looked pretty good along with those receivers. Even Nelson Aguilar made a catch. So things are changing in 2020. But I have the Saints winning this one 34-24. It's gonna be it's not gonna be as close as it seems. I'll say that.
Yeah, you know, this will be cool. You know, Raiders. Nice win on the road against Carolina. You know, Carolina team that's feisty. They're opening their new stadium, but New Orleans will spoil that debut for them because, you know, no matter what the status of Michael Thomas is, you know, you'll probably know a lot more about that by the time you're seeing this video. But New Orleans is just a better team. They have other offensive weapons. They will find a way. Sean Payton, Drew Brees, great head coach quarterback duo. New Orleans wins by 10, 33-20.
Last week, New Orleans looked good. Like I said before, a different team than we're used to seeing. There was not as much passing. And Slant God got 2 receptions for only 18 yards. Lost in fantasy to this guy right here because of him. Basically, I blame it all on him because you were my first round pick, Michael Thomas, and you only got 18 yards. Are you kidding me? And now you have a high ankle sprain. You better be back next week for Monday Night Football.
Emmanuel Sanders did good for them, though, right? He had a touchdown.
Yeah, he got like 8 yards and a touchdown.
He got a touchdown. I'm just saying. I said he was going to be a good target for them.
Josh
Score.
Jacobs got 3 touchdowns. 3, right?
Yeah, 3 touchdowns. Yeah.
Alvin Kamara got 2, so we'll see what they can do this week. I have the Saints winning, of course. I have them winning the Super Bowl, if you don't know.
Me too.
And 31-24, the Saints beat the Raiders' first game in the new stadium as we end this video. Week 2 predictions are in the books, and now I'm ready for week 2 already.
Yeah, Jordan said
Week 1's not even over.
Week 2 predictions in the books. We will give you a running tally of our records as our predictions at some point. I don't know when that'll be, but we'll tell you. So there it was, guys. I hope you did enjoy that. Let us know what you think about our predictions. Who do you think is going to win each game, or just the game that your favorite team plays? Let us know in the comment section down below. Also, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, hit the notification bell. Like I said, comment, very, very important. We love that. And with that, we'll see you guys later.
See ya.